AITA for refusing to go on a surprise vacation with my wife's family? You are probably thinking, oh, amazing, a vacation. I wish I could go on one right about now, and you would be right. I would love to go on a vacation, but not this one. I am 30M and my wife is 26F, and if I am honest, I adore my wife, but I absolutely hate her family. Her mom is a know-it-all who thinks everything is her business. Her sisters are bitchy snobs who criticize everything despite being anything but successful themselves. Their kids are spoiled brats. Her dad is just a broken man who seems to have given up decades ago, and the rest of her extended family is pretty much like the rest somehow and in some way. My wife got all the good genes and ended up being an extremely sweet, beautiful, caring, empathetic woman. Well, yesterday my wife decided to surprise me. She prepared a really romantic meal. Wine, candles, the whole shebang for my shabby ass after I got home from work, and she told me we were going on a 3-week-long vacation to a secluded cabin in a great hiking area of my country. Given I had to take up my vacation weeks anyway, I was honestly pretty damn excited. I love hiking. I grew up in a small town with loads of nature and used to hike pretty much daily. I love cabins, and honestly I really needed the break as my job has been extremely stressful. Shortly after, she revealed with the biggest smile that it would be a huge family vacation with her mom, her dad, her sisters, their kids, and a cousin and her kids, and honestly my heart just dropped. Trust me, I do my absolute best to stand these people when I see them for the sake of my wife and act like the perfect son-in-law. But the idea of spending my only vacation days in a cabin with these absolutely horrible people is just a full-on no for me. I'd rather stay at home doing jack shit for 3 weeks. I've been with them on a vacation once, and the entire time it was just them arguing, complaining, and us being forced to take care of her sister's health fund half the time. I straight up said that I was not going to do that again and that she was free to go, but I am not going. She started crying and seemed extremely upset I reacted the way I did, despite never hiding how I feel about her family. We ended up arguing a whole bunch, and she ended up leaving to stay with her best friend who lives down the street. Am I being an asshole here? I sure feel bad, but I also feel like this is just legitimately fucking up the few weeks a year I get off, and I honestly just want to have some peace and quiet. Just to be clear, she wants to leave the day after tomorrow. NTA, that's not a vacation. That's a trip to hell. 3 weeks, all crowded into a cabin with people you hate, that she knows you hate. Oh, hell no. Have fun with your fam. Honey, I'll see you in 3 weeks, seriously. WTF is she thinking? And to spring it on you only a couple of days before. NTA. My husband likes my parents and siblings, and I still wouldn't sign us up for even a weekend trip with all of them without discussing it with him first. And I would expect the same from him. NTA. From the way you tell it, it sounds like she knew you wouldn't be happy. The meal, the good news, and then bring up the bad news. She should have discussed this with you as a partner, not tried to trick you. Maybe suggested 1 week with him and then 2 weeks just the two of you somewhere else as a compromise. How well does she get on with her family? Maybe she thought she is obliged to attend and wanted you to be there to make it bearable for her. But it's still the wrong way to go about it. NTA. A 3-week vacation is something you discuss before finalizing plans. That's nearly a month and needs preparation for. Aside from that, if you don't get on well with the in-laws, that's like a punishment. Locked in a cabin with people you hate for weeks on end. The surprise was super messed up and seems like she just wanted to corner you into not being able to say no without looking like an ass. BC, I'm sure the whole rest of her family thinks you're all going. NTA. In fact, I think of vacation planning as akin to planning to buy a pet. You don't plan without your significant other. NTA. Dude, a 3-week vacation with anyone is tough after a bit. I can't imagine doing it with family, people I don't like, and other people's children. That's nightmare type shit. You know what's happening here, right? Basically, knowing that you would hate this idea, your wife is attempting to manipulate you into saying yes with all the theatrics. Like, she's trying extremely hard to manipulate you. Something tells me this is not an isolated incident. IDK man, couples therapy wouldn't be a bad idea. NTA. My wife just pulled something kinda like this the other day. I had a day off coming up where I for once did not have a million plans. For the past few months we've been home looking for our first home to purchase. And we've seen her family literally every weekend and every day off I've had for the past 3 weeks. And she basically invited me to go to this pumpkin patch fall festival dumb thing with her family. Over an hour away. I had to just tell her straight up I have absolutely no interest in doing that. I have a day off and I would like to spend my day off a way that I would like to spend it. Of course she gave me the silent treatment for a while, but she got over it like I knew she would. And everything is fine. I'm starting to learn that boundaries are a good thing. Just because someone is technically family doesn't mean that you have to drop everything and accommodate their wishes every single time. I understand spending time with family is important, but you shouldn't have to make yourself uncomfortable or put yourself throughout hell just because they're family. If you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. I promise you your wife will get over this, especially if she is more than aware of the tension between you and her family. Honestly, it's probably better that you don't go at this point because you're just going to end up in a bad mood and it's going to sour the whole trip. Like you said, stay at home doing F all. Call me hand medium dark skin tone. NTA. She's free to spend time with her family. Doesn't mean you have to use up all your vacation time on them. You don't have to love her family just because you married her. She should have asked for your permission since she knew your feelings towards them. NTA. I'm sure tensions were heightened when she was telling you this. Just let her know that you love her and only have so much time off to spend with her peacefully. Based on past vacations and other experiences with her family, spending the limited vacation time you have with them would not be something you're willing to do. She should not be surprised due to what happened last time you went on vacation with them and it being so unenjoyable. Share that you understand she's disappointed, but you are disappointed as well as you wish she would think about your experiences with her family. Prior to signing up for such a long-term trip, it is totally fine to say no to this. NTA. NTA. First off, she didn't ask you about it. She told you that it was happening. How long did she know about this trip before finally springing it on you a couple of days before you're supposed to leave? The trip is 3 weeks. That sounds like a complete nightmare, and she didn't even discuss it with you. I bet if you were to spring a vacation on her without any previous discussions about it, she would be ticked off too. I'm convinced you shouldn't marry people if you don't like their family. NTA. If this happened before, horrible family vacay, does she have memory loss? Maybe remind her of how terrible it was and tell her how flat out excited you were when you thought it was just the two of you. An actual enjoyable vacation as opposed to stressful situations. And honestly, work. Did she enjoy that first family vacation? Does she know how you felt in that environment? See if she'd be willing to get away in a similar fashion with just you. Tell her how much you'd like time to reconnect with her. Basically a month-long date. Vacations are meant to be relaxing, not stress-inducing. Info. Why aren't you guys on the same page about this when you're married? My fiancé wouldn't dream of doing something like this because we've, talked about our boundaries and preferences regarding trips and vacations. TBH. I would be so sad if my partner straight up talked about how much he hates my family. No one's family is perfect. IDK. I agree. They sound like they suck. But that's just shitty for her. She's never going to fully hate her family, so it could be nice if you would get into them a little more. There's just a lot of contempt I'm reading. I would feel very hesitant to even ask you about the idea of going if I were her. Clearly she was, because she introduced the idea in the most roundabout way ever. I don't think that was right. But again, just what I'm thinking. I don't think that the way she handled it was right at all, and I do not think you need to go. But the way you're talking about her fam RLLY sucks. No matter how many other people hate them. Could you go for a few days and spend the rest of your time at home alone? NTA. She hasn't signed you up for a vacation, she is signing you up for divorce when it all goes tits up. Stay home and stay strong. She shouldn't have expected you to go for 3 weeks with people she knows you don't like. You should have found a tactful, loving way to say, no thank you, instead of just saying no way and arguing with her. NTA. While it was a sort of nice gesture that your wife wanted to surprise you, she shouldn't be surprised at your turn down because she knows how miserable you would be. Could you compromise? Go for maybe a week and then come home? If you're looking to compromise, go stay a couple days up there and get your hiking fix and then head home.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.